morning, everyone. I am heading out for my daily harvest and trying to assess what may have been damaged in last night's storm. Oh my goodness, there's nothing like waking up at 5 a.m. to the sound of all of that rain hitting your roof and wondering what's happening in the garden. So it knocked down some of our perimeter that we have around the bird's pergola. Some random thing must have flown through and dented the pergola, which I have no idea what that could have been. The aviary netting got ripped away a little bit, so I'm sort of dreading what it is that I might actually come back here and find today. Our little shed back there stayed up. That has blown down and passed. Our big shed is still standing. Well, that's our second smallest shed, actually. You can see how much rain we got. It's puddled all around the perimeter. I would say we probably got several inches, but I haven't checked the weather yet. This shed blew away on us once before, I think I had mentioned, and we put earth anchors in to keep it down and just tied it off with a marine rope. And it seems to be keeping it down. Look, that is a lanternfly nymph. And now it's not anymore. They're not made of anything. Squish. That's what you have to do, folks. You just have to squish them. But anyway, this looks like it might have gotten jostled a little bit. So we probably had a more heavy-duty storm than I actually realized. Cucumbers held up through it though, which I'm very pleased to see. I have one cucumber partially down over here. These tomatoes have held up, but last night when we did our final walk of the evening, I realized that I did have a couple of Amish paste tomatoes that had just grown like crazy and they needed to be trussed, and I thought I'm just going to trust them tomorrow. And you know, I wasn't anticipating the storm, but right now we're going to walk to the back and see what else happened, so we can try to get it fixed. I anticipate that we will find something back here and try to get it all corrected. I guess the strawberries liked it. They're nice and, oh my goodness. Oh, wait till you see. Oh, look at those
man.
Beautiful strawberries.
Super red. I can't wait.
Yay.
Beautiful.
All right. So we have some corn down. It's not totally devastating. Oh, wow, that wind must have been rotating.
Yeah, look at the way this is down. This is down to this side.
Oh my goodness.
It went back.
So we had rotating winds back here last night. Our little corn patch took a hit, but you know, it doesn't have its brace roots yet, which is something we're going to talk about in a future video. But as long as it stayed in the ground and it didn't snap, you know, John will hill around it and it should recover nicely. But the corn is sending out side shoots, so I can't believe it. It's so scary when you wake up and realize you had rotating winds while you were sleeping. Never a fun thing. So I expect to see some other surprises back here today. Whenever I carry this blue bowl, you can just assume that I am harvesting lettuce. We have actual zucchinis. They are not ready yet, but they will be soon. So it looks like the leaves are doing their thing. Beautiful baby zucchinis. And I'm going to pull these much earlier than I usually do. I'm guilty of letting the zucchinis get way bigger than they should. Now, I'm not a fan of zucchini. I just don't like it, but John could eat it every single day. And, you know, it's like you grow this many zucchini and one day you come out and you'll find a zucchini that's like 2 feet long and it's so big. I don't know the difference because I don't eat it and I'll just cook it up. And every year he gently reminds me, I really prefer the zucchini when they're very small. And I'm like, okay, do I pay attention? No. But this year I will, because these are beautiful. And, you know, I sent him off to work with a freshly made meal for lunch every day. So I will utilize these zucchinis more frequently this year, and I'll probably be giving less away. And you really can't just store the zucchini for too long without it being a lot of work. But 2 years ago we had, I don't know, a combination of 16 zucchini and yellow summer squash plants, and I had zucchini coming out of my ears. I shared it with a friend who shared it with a temple, who shared it with other people. I would drive around and give it to neighbors. It was craziness. And then I thought, okay, let me slice these up, blanch them with a quick dip in some hot water, and then I would let them cool and dry, just enough that they didn't have frost, and I would lay them out in a single layer in the freezer on a cookie sheet, and let them just get hardened off in the freezer, and then I bag them up, double bag freezer bags, and put them in the freezer. That was 2 years ago. I still have zucchini in the freezer that is edible, so I can just take out the portion that I want and heat it up. Now, it doesn't do well in a stir fry that way because it does still hold on to a lot of water, but it's good for a quick steam or something on the side. Now, these little guys are the Montreal variety of cucumber, which I haven't really spoke about too much. They gave me a hard time this year, but they do have flowers on them, so they are trying to be cucumbers. Now, this is a new area that we built this year for the cucumber, which I made with just T-posts and a cut section of hog panel. We are really utilizing this roll of hog panel that we bought from Tractor Supply. It works perfect for climbing cucumbers. But this area gets a lot of sun, so I wanted to work with the fact that it also gets a lot of water because of the slope towards the property line swale. So I thought, let me see how I can take advantage of heat, sun, and shade with water runoff. So this area starts to get shade in the afternoon, which is why I did it at an angle, and it's closer to the fence. The years in the past, I have not been able to grow cucumbers back here, and we'll be showing pictures of our early days of gardening and how this has evolved. But this year, I thought I failed again, and they would not germinate, and I kept putting one seed in after another, and then I would come out and stare at the ground and wait for it. And I kept saying, it's been a day, where's my cucumber? I'm a very impatient gardener at times, but now they're catching up. I'm not familiar with this variety of cucumber yet. I did buy it from Baker's Creek Heirloom Seeds. Again, it's called Montreal Cucumber. It's supposed to be a burpless variety, which does not attract insects, and it's supposed to be long-standing and heat tolerant, but it does like a little bit of afternoon shade. So I'm looking forward to these guys. One of my, like I said, I think I have 30 cucumber plants. So either we're going to have cucumbers this year or we're not. I'm not really sure yet. So the trip out here today again was to harvest lettuce and survey what happened with the wind. Now here's another example. The wind snapped some of the buckwheat in half and blew it away. So, oh, my buckwheat. Look at that. It snapped it in half and blew it away. So, oh, I hope I'm not going to cry out here today.
So now this is actually okay. The buckwheat, when it goes to flower, it actually takes the nutrients from the ground, and it actually is good for the soil. So if this breaks, it's not the end of the world. And the reason why is because you're just going to take this and you're going to feed it back to the ground, because it brought that nutrients all the way down from the bottom to create these flowers. So this is not a bad thing. So we're just going to add this right back into the bed. This is not the end of the world. This is actually not a bad thing. We love the flowers. It does bring in a lot of great pollinators, and we have plenty of it, but do not get rid of this. Either add it to your compost pile or you can just throw it right on top.
The thing that I worry about with seeing something like that is what else happened
Yes.
to everything else. So right now, from this perspective, the rest of the tomatoes looks pretty good, but right now you're seeing us survey live. We haven't been out here yet. So any reaction that you see is a raw reaction. And this is like my children. So I take this very seriously. And I should be looking to see if there's a section of fence down or a section of roof that blew off. When you realize that something, solid structure got dented, you don't know where the dent came from, but I'm more worried about what happened to my buckwheat and my tomatoes. So everything looks pretty good. I don't see any tomato damage. And we have several, looking at the buckwheat, we have another color that's coming up here. So we have pink, white, and red buckwheat. We have a lot of hoverflies, so this is all good. The tomatoes hung on beautiful. So I'm always really happy to come out and see that she's taking care of herself out here. I know I do have a potential issue that I'm about to walk onto, and I'm holding my breath. Hopefully it's going to be okay. All right, so here's the area that I was worried about before I came out here. This is my Abruzzi pear. And again, I'll say I planted this seed last year from a packet called San Marzano Lungo. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. Feel free to correct me. But instead of growing a smooth, more elongated or pear-shaped Roma tomato, it gave us these absolutely beautiful, artistic looking, vintagey fruit of tomatoes. They were fluted and the shape was incredible. And let me tell you, these tomatoes were so delicious. I was so excited that I actually had this packet, and I have to wonder, were my tomatoes supposed to be a different type of San Marzano, but I got some type of Abruzzi pear by mistake in my packet. So my luck, I'll go ahead and order them again, and it'll be a completely different variety. So I need to make an effort this year to harvest seed from this plant so that I can ensure that I will be able to maintain this type of plant every year by harvesting seed myself. Now, this Amish paste, I'm quickly realizing, is a good candidate for single stalk growing. Some people will tie a rope from an anchor at the top of a structure, anchor that single line of rope down to the bottom, and let the tomato grow up one single stalk like a vine. This Amish paste does grow leggy and wild, and last year we actually had it in a big rectangular cage. We took the cage down and did a single trellis for it this year, thinking that we would have a better opportunity to get in here and actually truss it tight, because last year I could not truss it properly. It was just kind of loose and tangling itself inside of that cage. So I wanted to try it different. But now I realize I'm going to have to either go with the single stalk method, or I'm going to have to give it a cylinder cage at the bottom until it gets up to the top of the main trellis so I can truss it up properly. Now, luckily for us, this Amish paste tomato is very large, it is very juicy, it is very meaty. It's an absolutely incredible tomato. So I have to work with this plant because I've been looking forward to this all year long. Luckily, I have a branch hanging here. It didn't kink itself and cut its life source off. It's still good. So, I should probably prune some of these bottom limbs off, but I'm greedy. I have to be honest with you. It's like growing hair. I don't want to cut it, I cry. This guy here, I thought it was going to have some fruit, and I think it actually is starting to grow flowers, which is why I didn't cut that one off. This is another big branch on the ground here, but it hasn't cut its life force off, so I'm going to let this go. And right now, I am so relieved. I am so happy that she held up on her own out here in the storm. And I can move on today with yard maintenance, preparing food, getting everything together, and having some peace in my day without feeling heartache of all the hard work that goes into the garden, and a storm just comes through and wrecks everything all while you're sleeping. Oh, check this out. snap peas. I'll have to harvest these today. The little birds were generous enough to allow me to have some of my snap peas. So carrots are looking good. They don't look like they're getting ready to go to seed yet, but I have to monitor this situation. Hopefully we'll be pulling carrots out of the ground for you soon. I do think these guys are ready. These are beautiful purplish black carrots, supposedly, which I haven't seen yet. It's a new variety for us. But when you see stalks like this is going to seed now. So this carrot could potentially be pithy, which we want to avoid because it's really inedible when it gets like that. And here's my beautiful little lettuce patch that just continues to give me just enough for microgreens. It's not, you know, what I imagined it was going to be. You know, when we watch people like James Prigioni from the Garden Channel, he has a gift for growing lettuce, and all of his heads get real big and they grow in rows and it's all packed in real tight, as well as M.I. Gardner, and we love watching those guys and how they're able to grow certain things. And they inspired us to do mass lettuce plantings like this, hoping that I'll get what they get. And I didn't quite get it this year, and I know that it's because we have this huge migration of grackles and robins that come. And normally we net this area off, but the birds were getting trapped in the net. And every day I had to come out and manage the birds. And I thought, okay, I'm just not going to do that this year, and let's see what happens. I thought I planted enough seed. But they would come in here and dig away and dig for worms, and they were actually removing my plants and tossing them to the side. And I would come out to find 5 or 6 at a time dead lettuce heads that were ripped out of the ground. So they're finally backing off. They're attending to their nests now. So they'll migrate out soon. And then I'll, you know, be able to have this lettuce until it bolts, which will probably be soon, but we'll see. Our dragon's egg cucumbers are coming along. It has tendrils, so it should be getting flowers soon. This is a new variety for me. I really don't know what to expect from it. We have a couple potato varieties in here. We have to hill them again. And we are on our way to our harvest of the year, which should be happening soon. Oh, look at this beautiful, this is also the dragon's egg variety. I'll have to get that up onto the trellis and hope we get flowers soon. So this area, I like it because it does offer some shade in the afternoon. So I just can't wait to the day I come out and my cucumbers have climbed up over this trellis and they hang down, and there's just lanterns of cucumbers that are hanging over my head. Looking forward to that day. So, oh my goodness, guys, how quickly time is flying, and before you know it, I have a 20-minute video. So I'm gonna let you go. I want to thank you for taking a walk with me here in our backyard garden in southern New Jersey. We are zone 6, 7-ish. I think with the climate change, you know, that number has changed as well. So our first and last frost dates have changed. But gosh, look how she's grown. So again, we are always hoping to inspire and motivate everyone. We hope that we're reaching you and that we're inspiring you to try to grow something. As I always say, even if it's in a pot, even if it's in your back kitchen window, on a front step, any place where you can get some sun and you can grow something and pour your love into it, it will love you back. So have a great Thursday, everyone. Please visit us again for future videos. We will be uploading probably almost daily because it is garden season. We are harvesting soon. This is our time here in New Jersey. So thanks again, guys. I can't say enough. Have a great day. Stay safe, everyone. Eat healthy, and we'll catch up with you soon.